isn't it?
We're probably going to give Vroom Mag in the race now if Ante-Post goes to the mare's hurdle. If everything's okay with Ante-Post, then they won't clash. So Vroom Mag turns up. We get all of Paul Nicholls' stable, essentially. Everything seems to be rerouted to the front row. So it ends up being, a big field full of talented horses, and in that sort of scenario, I think the favourite has to be about a 4-1 shot, however good the form is going into it. So Thistleprague, mathematically speaking, must drift in the betting. That's not any slight on him. I've been impressed with him. When he won at Newbury, he wasn't fit, and Colin Tisdale was very surprised that he did
admit that, didn't he? He said that it's a bit to work on. So
and it wasn't one of those, come out with the message that he's going to improve chunks. He was genuinely surprised that he thought he'd run really well, but just needed, and he ended up clearing away from them and winning in good style. And then the long walk, he made it look very easy indeed.
It's just the manner of his victories. I think they do strike a chord with you. It's just
you
think, wow, look at you, stepping up to 3 miles. He's going to make a fantastic chase whatever he does.
Well, his dam stayed 3.5 miles. Again, a bit like Q-Card. He's out of a proper staying chaser. It's the Midlands National type, bred by Mercy Rymel's daughter, Scarlett. Good family. They all tend to do well overstaying trips. And of course, he was only stepped up 3 miles late in the season. He was running over 2 miles. He ran on the Imperial Cup, didn't he? I believe.
No, you're asking.
Unless I'm getting confused with another
one of the archives.
Colin's novices from last year, but he was he won under Ruby at Ascot when it looked like he was going to finish last, and then he's come through to win very well, and the step up and trip has helped him enormously, and he's young and improving still, and clearly he's the likeliest winner. But as David says, I'm also in the camp that Cold Harden is value at the current prices because he's been running on the wrong ground most of the season. They haven't been getting to the bottom of him. He went around the inside again at Cheltenham the other day, which I think is...
the Gavin Sheen route is always up the inside.
Yeah, which is a great thing to do on fast ground at Cheltenham, but bad thing to do on soft ground.
Like 9% of the
He's
time
probably going to have breathing
right.
tweaks between his last run and the festival, which happened last year. And if they get fast ground again, we saw how well he won from the front last year. Again, Gavin Sheen deserves a lot of credit for doing that, for making all the running. But he's better than he's shown this season. I think connections think that he's at least as good as last year, and therefore he's an interesting one at the prices. I think he shortens up. In saying that, I'm not suggesting he's a good thing, and if you give me the choice of him and Thistleprague at the same prices,
yes,
I'd rather have Thistleprague. But if you look at the market now, I think Thistleprague will drift. I think Cold Heart will come in, and that's all I can really say about the race at this stage.
I mean, he's untested this season, isn't he? Just had a few run around, to see how he gets on at the festival. But it's very hard to win back-to-back races. I personally think, as it's been proven in the records. But, do you think he was sort of let loose on the front last year? Do you think he had the run of the race?
He may well have done, but he did. He'll get the run of it again this year.
But he didn't set a slow pace and then.
It just it might be a pretty good world hurdle this year, depending on what turn.
I think it was a good world hurdle last year.
I think it was. Yeah, I think because
we might disagree.
Because he stuffed him last year.
Yeah.
Everyone goes, well, it can't have been that good. But look at what was expected of the horses in behind.
Yeah,
everyone then goes back and makes excuses for those who were beaten and say, well, that didn't run as expected. But in terms of what the quality of horses on display and what connections thought they could do, it looked a strong race last year.
Maybe it
lacked an outstanding candidate, but it had quite a lot of depth.
There was a lot of depth to it. There was. Yeah. That's the point. I think there was depth to it last year.
And this year's is well, on paper, no better at this stage. There are a number of horses who could improve a lot between now and March.
It does depend really whether Ante-Post goes for it or Vroom Mag again. We're not sure.
Well, Ante-Post
what he's going to do. Mullins magic.
I think Ante-Post will not be going for the World Hurdle. I think that's the one thing that I would take out of the weekend. She's going to go to Cheltenham fresh. And I think if they go fresh, they go Mare's Hurdle.
Yeah. Well, I'd do.
There is the possibility with Ante-Post, by the way, because she's had her injuries. She may must be a possibility she won't turn up at all.
Well, the vibes coming from the Mullins camp, they don't seem that strong, really, from my opinion. I don't know what you've been thinking.
But then again, we've had the same with Kavega in the past. She had her injuries and kept turning up with very, very limited prep and still winning that year in, year out.
And he finds the key to them, and that's what matters, isn't it?
But again, it changes things if you consider that Ante-Post may either go or not go, then the race looks different.
Look into our crystal ball.
Wonderfully put it on Saturday. We're running out of runway. Which is exactly right.
He's terrific to interview, Rich.
He's always entertaining. We were discussing this off camera before, and he's he's very entertaining to talk to and listen to. Yeah, he's a terrific interview. Yeah, so and Lydia gets the best out of him as well.
And at this stage, so Cole Harden, do you think he's a bit of value
at
there?
The moment,
he's value. At the moment,
he's the value.
I think that's where the market needs to adjust itself a little bit.
Making the assumption that the ground will dry up between now and March, which it should do.
Yes, and again,
it does dry out quickly when
it
finally stops raining.
Thistlecrack might have something to prove in good ground, but then again, we might just not have seen how good he is in good ground because since he flourished, he's been kept on. It's always been soft ground when he's run. They haven't kept him away from good ground. There's been no good ground to run on, so we shouldn't say that's a definite negative against him.
No, but it is a question mark.
It's an unknown.
It is a question mark.